Welcome to the UCM Interface Bible Study dito sa 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV, Agapay ng Sambayanan. Isa itong conversational expository Bible study program hatid sa inyo ng UCM Interface, ang Young Adults Ministry ng Union Church of Manila. We do our best to study context and let Scripture speak for itself. Ang programang ito ay isang teaching ministry ng Union Church of Manila, a church of many nations committed to making disciples who are transformed by the gospel of Jesus Christ. Bago magsimula, thanks for joining us at kung trip nyo itong ginagawa namin, subscribe and share with your friends and family. Okay, people in your neighborhood!
Hello, ako po si Meggy, atleta pa rin po at nasa San Juan pa rin po.
Kami pa din, no? Parang di na kami maalis dito. So,
hanggang dulo.
Jericho pa din, IT, nandito pa rin sa Pasig.
At ako naman si Rainier, ang Young Adult Ministry Director ng Union Church of Manila.
And this is Gutch, commercial voice artist. And today, yung pag-uusapan natin, yung parable of counting the cost. So, before we go to our discussion, let's go through our reading. 3, 2, 1, and... Luke 14, 25 to 35. Now great crowds accompanied him, and he turned and said to them, If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not bear his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king, going out to encounter another king in war, will not sit down first and deliberate whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him who comes against him with 20,000? And if not, while the other is yet a great way off, he sends a delegation and asks for terms of peace. So therefore, any one of you who does not renounce all that he has cannot be my disciple. Salt is good, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is of no use either for the soil or for the manure pile. It is thrown away. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Okay, game.
Anong napansin nyo dun sa simula pa lang ng story natin in verse 25? May nagtanong ba?
Parang wala, no?
Wala.
Dumiretso si
Wala.
Jesus no?
Pero, uusisain din natin ano nga ba yung nangyari dito, yung mga nauna pa. Di ba?
Itong introduction na to, yung sa verse 25, yung now great crowds accompanied him. Similar siya dun sa isang parable before, dun sa parable ng sower in the soil.
Yes.
Diba na, ganun din,
Yeah.
may mga sumusunod sa kanya, ganong setup. So now we're gonna go through the parable.
This is the very main point of Jesus. Can you imagine, this is a large crowd following him. Di ba?
Grabe tong opening line, ano? Parang, ha?
Kasi dito ko nagtaka, large crowds. Wow, sikat. Superstar, ang daming sumusunod. Tapos babanatan mo ng ganito.
Parang hindi yata to seeker-friendly, Jesus. Sinuntok agad eh.
Hindi lang yun. Di ba, ang gusto ng mga simbahan ngayon, palaki yung church niya, marami mag-attend, maraming members, ganyan, di ba? Siyempre, anong mga sasabihin mo? Of course, you want to say things that are very palatable, appealing sa kanila, may entertain sila, di ba? Gano'n, para ma-attract. Pero to, bakit ganito?
If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple.
Bakit hate, no? Hate talaga yung word eh.
Oy, ina nga eh. Exactly. Father, mother, wife, children, brothers, sisters.
Billion.
Pamilya.
Family mo to. Ito yung support system mo. Dito nang gagaling yung values mo, dahil lahat naman yan nabubuo sa home. Ano pa?
Career. Di ba, passed down yung trabaho nila?
Yep.
Fisherman yung tatay mo.
Minsan
fisherman
ganun
ka
din, yung maaring source ng wealth mo.
Inheritance.
Inheritance, i-renounce mo ba yun? Diba, yun agad yung demand ni Jesus. Can you imagine, ang dami-daming tao na sumusunod sa kanya, bigla na lang siya tumalikod at binanata niya ng ganun. So doon niya sinimulan. Siyempre, ikaw, you're a Jew, napaka-tight-knit ng families niyo. Grabe rin yung connection mo sa family mo. You don't want that to be severed at all. Maraming mabawala sa'yo. Pero hindi pa natapos dun eh. Ano yung sumunod?
Your own life.
Anong ibig sabihin nun? Your own life. What are you going to renounce? Abandon.
Yung sarili mo.
Which means your
Comforts.
desires. And wouldn't that include also your ambitions?
Yeah.
Kung meron kang like 5-year goal, 10-year plan,
Uh-huh.
ano yan, lahat
Uh-huh.
yan.
Naku, ang dami ko niyan dati.
Are you willing to let go of that?
Bigyan mo na rin lahat yan, di ba?
Oh, even your achievements, because these are things that give honor to you, right?
Identity.
Eh, importante sa atin yun eh, yung honor natin. Gusto mo bang talikuran yun? So, pinag-iisip na niya. Itong mga relationships na to, look, these are very intimate relationships. Ito yun ang buong pagkatao mo. And you ought to be willing to renounce that, to abandon those things. Pero ito yung gusto kong i-settle natin eh. Eh, bakit naman hate?
Yun.
Yeah, right.
Ang
Oo.
lakas naman,
Oo.
masyadong malakas na salita.
Clarify natin yung hate na yan. Kasi love your neighbor, tapos hate
Oo,
your...
kita nyo yan ha. These are your primary allegiances.
Mm.
If we are forced to choose between these important loyalties versus Jesus, who should win?
And yung distance nun of that loyalty na hinihingi ni Jesus dito sa kanyang mga nagpa-follow sa kanya nito. Ganong kalaki yung distance na it will look like hate.
Kasi nga naman, totoo to, lalo na nung panahon ni na Jesus or the early Christians, na kapag naging follower ka ni Christ, you can easily be disowned by your own family. So nakakarinig ako ng mga kwento kung paano dinidisown itong mga Jewish na converts na minsan ang ginagawa ng family, nagko-conduct sila ng funeral service para dun sa anak nila na
grabe.
convert to Christianity.
Wow.
Parang you're dead to us.
Oo, wala ka na. Hindi ka na nag-e-exist sa buhay namin. Patay ka na. Ganong kabigat yung pagpili kay Jesus. Kaya sabi niya, look at verse 27, kasi ito yung pinaka-tema nung sinasabi niya itong demand, na we are to carry our cross. Because if you cannot do this, you cannot be my disciple. Teka, unawain natin kung ano yung, bakit cross? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng cross?
Death sentence yung krus.
It's a death sentence. Pag binitbit mo na yung cross, ang kadadalhin?
Papako ka. Kukrusify ka. Execution
Okay.
siya. And it's always shameful.
Right.
Mm.
So this is a horrific death sentence by the Romans to its enemies.
Yes.
Horrific
and absolutely shameful. It's reserved for the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
The Romans don't crucify Romans.
If you're a Roman citizen, hindi ka pwedeng crucify. You'll be beheaded.
Beheaded.
Kumbaga, it's a quote-unquote painless death. Kasi talaga, severe torture ang pagdadaanan mo kung crucifixion. Okay, so naiintindihan nila, pag sinabi nilang carry your cross, they understand what that means. And in this case, ang sinasabi ni Jesus, this is self-denial. Self-denial, pero minsan may elemento pa ng humiliation and sacrificial death. Kasi nga naman, yung mga unang converts to Christianity, karamihan dyan pinatay dahil sa persecution. Di ba? Kaya mabigat siya. Napakabigat itong demand na hinihingi ni Jesus to those who truly want to follow Him. Kita niyo doon sa previous episode natin, parang, invitation lang.
Yeah.
Pupunta lang. Di ba?
Yeah. Oo.
Hindi pa pala siya tapos magturo.
Alam mo, ganun lang. Ano.
Kala mo, kakain ka lang. Nag-RSVP ka lang, gano'n. Meron pa pala. Hindi pala ganun ka-easy yun. Meron pa palang demand na hinihingi talaga. Merong hihingin sa'yo na dapat willing ka na iwan kung susundin mo siya. Bakit ganun? There's something cultural here.
Parang yung honor-shame kultura nila.
Yeah.
Kailangan yung save face ka parate. Hindi ka pwedeng mapahiya ng ganyan.
Oo. Kasi sa katulad natin, Filipinos, honor and shame culture tayo. This is what drives us. Ayoko nga mapahiya. Diba? Masakit mapahiya. Okay. So, there's a second parable. At anong sinasabi dun sa second parable?
31 to 33. Or what king, going out to encounter another king in war, will not sit down first and deliberate whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him who comes against him with 20,000? And if not, while the other is yet a great way off, he sends a delegation and asks for terms of peace.
Yung una kasi ay miscalculation ng resources, ng pera. Dito naman, ang maaring problema is a miscalculation of what?
kung may laban ka.
Oo. Baka mamaya miscalculate mo yung strength ng opposition at yung kakayanan mo na lumaban. So ano yung pwede lang daw option, sabi dito sa parable? What's the option for the king? If he's wise, what would he do?
Kung wala kang laban, mag-surrender ka na lang.
Pwedeng surrender or
Negotiation.
it's a negotiation. Boss, baka pwede natin daanin to sa maboteng usapan.
Mabuti usapan na.
Diba? So, kailangan mag-negotiate siya. That's the wisest thing to do instead of what?
Taking the
Going
battle.
out into battle.
Dadaanin sa fighting spirit, tapos talo.
Kasi again, your army is destroyed.
Ibig sabihin, ang kailangan mong i-minimize na lang yung
Loss.
loss, yung damages. Kasi pag natalo ka sa gera, anong mawawala sa'yo?
Your army is gone, your throne is gone, your lineage is gone, your dynasty is gone.
Your honor also is gone.
Your honor.
Your honor is gone. Oo. Why did Jesus choose these two parables? Anong kino-communicate niya? So we find that in verse 33.
So therefore, any one of you who does not renounce all that he has cannot be my disciple. So parang lumalabas, tingnan mo yung budget. What will it cost you? Pros and cons. Yan, tingnan mo yung budget.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos, ano yung budget? All that you have.
Diba? Kaya pala, sinimulan ni Jesus muna dun sa lahat ng malalapit sa'yo. Kaya mo bang isuko yan for my sake?
Yung mga pinakamahirap ibigay.
Lahat ba yan kaya mo? Even your own self.
Yes.
So, ibig sabihin, pati mga pangarap ko, mga plano ko sa buhay, lahat ng pag-aari ko, my house, maybe my car, my laptop, lahat yan ba hihingin mo, Lord? Lahat ba yan kaya kong ibigay sa'yo? Kumbaga, walang competition dapat.
I really like the word here na ginamit ni Jesus, yung renounce. Yung renounce kasi it's like, I used to be the owner of this, but now, you are now the owner of it. I renounce my ownership of this. Ikaw na ang may-ari. You tell me what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah.
What Jesus is demanding is total commitment. Walang room for reservations. No ifs or buts. In other words, what is his condition? Kung gusto mong sumunod, itodo mo na.
All in. Yeah.
Parang nakakatakot. Nakakatakot. Share ko lang may kaibigan ako nung meron siyang mental health crisis. Nag-breakdown yan, ganyan. Tapos, we used to be very close. Tapos nung naging Christian ako, bigla siyang umiiwas sa akin. Tapos one time nag-usap kami, I talked to him about Jesus, ganyan-ganyan. I was sharing the gospel to him. Alam mo, sagot niya sa akin, hindi yan bagay sa akin. Sabi ko, bakit? Ba't hindi bagay sa'yo to? Kasi, ang alam ko sa history ng Christianity, pine-persecute sila. Ayokong dumaan sa ganyan. Kaya nga ako nagkakaproblema ng ganito kasi ayoko nung nire-reject ako ng mga tao tapos susundin ko pa yung si Christ. Sino pang matutuwa sa akin? Sino pang magkakagusto sa akin? Lahat na lang ng mga tao i-reject ako. Ganun yung tingin niya sa Christianity. Sabi ko, para siya yung merong sanity. Kasi yung iba ang tingin sa Christianity, if you follow Jesus, everything will be rosy.
Health, wealth, and prosperity.
Yeah.
At least meron siyang mas maayos na perspective on it.
Oo nga.
Meron siyang sense na following Jesus means I'm going to be rejected by the world and I don't want that. Ganun yung banat niya. Napaisip talaga ako. Sabi ko, okay, hindi siya natuwa dun sa sinabi kong promise of eternal life. Yun pa yung naisip ko. I was a very new Christian, but I was just eager to share the gospel to him. Pero nung narinig ko yun, parang hindi ko alam kung paano sumagot. Kasi ang gusto ko, alam mo naman, if you're sharing the gospel, you want people to accept it. You want people to pray to receive Christ. I'll be very happy. I'll report to all my Christian friends, uy, nakashare ako ng gospel, nag-receive si ganito, ganyan-ganyan. Pero hindi ganun na nangyari eh. Because, in a way, buti pa siya.
Naintindihan niya yung...
Alam niya yung reality, yung demand. So, kaya dito, pagkabigay niyo ng dalawang parables na to, binigay na nga niya ito, yung banat niya dito sa verse 33, to explain why this is so demanding. That it requires total commitment. So that's the message of verse 33. Pero okay na sana, tatapusin na niya doon, pero hindi pa niya tinapos doon eh.
Kala ko, tapos na to. Ay, hindi pa.
Parang medyo, pag hindi mo naintindihan kung ano tong salt na metaphor na to, parang lumabo tuloy. Di ba parang mas maganda na sanang ending yung verse 33?
Maganda ng bookend yun eh.
Mic drop na eh.
Pero tingnan natin, bakit kaya dinagdagan pa niya ng metaphor tungkol dun sa salt? Ang sabi nga niya, di ba, sa verse 34,
Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land nor for the dunghill, but men throw it out. He who has ears to hear, let him hear.
Okay, kailangan paliwanag muna natin kung ano itong ibig sabihin itong salt metaphor na to. Unang-una, sa atin, it doesn't make sense that salt could lose its saltiness. Di ba? It doesn't make sense to us. Kasi nga, yung asin natin, nawawalan ba ng alat yung asin natin?
Parang
Hindi.
Ano ba yung asin natin?
Refined na yung atin eh. Nasa bote na eh. Oh.
Refined.
Ours is refined, oo. Iba kasi nga yung tinutukoy na salt dito sa verse 34. What Jesus is talking about here is yung salt nila na hindi nga refined. Ito yung salt that normally they find it or they harvest its Dead Sea. And it's a mixture of NaCl or sodium chloride, kung natatandaan yung inyong chemistry. Tapos may kasama pa yung iba pang compounds. No?
Mhm.
Ang itsura nito, hindi katulad ng salt natin kasi ngayon sa atin refined na. Yung sa atin siguro, ewan ko kung anong talagang totoong chemical composition yan, but maybe it's 99.99% sodium chloride. Yung kanila, hindi. Meron kanitong parang bato na kasi maraming compounds yan. At isang maliit na component lang yan, yung sodium chloride. Ang tawag nila dyan salt, pero dahil hindi refined, hindi natanggal yung mga iba pang components. So, paano ba nawawala ang salt? Salt easily dissolves.
In water.
Oo, pag yan, nabasa, mawawash out yung sodium chloride, matitira pa rin yung structure na yon.
Na mukhang salt, pero hindi na pala salt.
Oh, it still looks like the same thing, what they call salt, but the sodium chloride has already been washed out. So, hindi na siya maalat. It loses its saltiness. Kaso, meron pang binanat kasi eh. It is fit neither for the soil nor the manure pile. It is thrown out. Teka. Bakit? Kasi,
Kaya na, forestry.
buti na lang. Kasi itong salt, actually maraming benefits itong salt para sa lupa. Particularly in their location, Israel is a semi-arid place. Siyempre, konti ang tubig, no? Yung salt kasi, it helps retain moisture for the soil. So, nakakatulong siya dun sa lupa kasi ilalagay mo yung salt sa lupa, mariretain niya yung moisture sa lupa. Di lang yun. Salt can also destroy weeds, mga damo.
Di ko alam yun ah.
Oo. Sabi sa inyo, maraming benefits yung soil eh. Kala nyo, pampalasa lang siya sa pagkain. Sa agriculture, talagang, it's a treatment. It's a soil treatment. Tapos, halimbawa, yung lupa, medyo mahirap bungkalin. Some soils are hard to till, to cultivate. Napapalambot na yung lupa.
Interesting.
So, medyo stubborn soil. May effect siyang ganun sa lupa. At saka hindi lang yun. Kasi dito, ito yung weird eh. Manure pile. Alam niyo yung manure pile? Alam niyo yung manure?
Oops.
Oh, yung mga EBS, yung mga poop, ganyan. Kasi ginagamit yan for
Fertilizer.
fertilizer.
Right.
Kasi treatment din sa fertilizer yan.
Okay.
Pine-preserve niya yung fertilizer para hindi mag-degrade yung fertilizer. Now that we understand that this is what salt means, why did Jesus have to use this illustration? The salt metaphor.
So, yung connection, cost, renounce all that you have, salt.
Okay.
Oo.
Tapos,
Hmm.
poop.
Di ba? Yung salt metaphor, it's about usefulness. But we are talking about discipleship. We're talking about making a commitment, a total surrender. This is a total commitment to Jesus. If you want to follow Him, wala kang itatago sa Kanya. Lahat ibibigay mo.
Parang lumalabas dito, if you're on the fence, if you're not all in, you're useless.
Yeah.
And you will be, kapag useless,
Thrown away.
you'll be thrown out.
Because, look, if you're salt, if you are this sodium chloride, look, you have an impact. May usefulness ka eh. May effect ka sa iba.
Nagpa-preserve ng life.
Hindi lang. Because as a disciple, you're not just here to stop the moral decay. It's not just to arrest moral decomposition. Hindi lang yung trabaho mo. But look, preservative ka nga ng fertilizer. You bring life to others. Ganito yung disciple. If salt can stimulate growth, if you are truly a follower of Christ, may impact ka talaga.
And that only happens if you're all in.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yep.
mhm.
Pero if you're on the fence, this ain't gonna happen.
It won't. You won't have any impact. You won't have any benefit.
And you won't have any use.
You won't have any use to His kingdom. Kaya nga ibig sabihin lang nito, you renounced everything. But that's not the end of the story. Meron kasing evidence dapat. may evidence yung pagiging disipulo mo.
You will know them by their fruits, sabi, di ba?
Yes. Mm-mm.
Diba? Okay. Eto yun eh. Sabi niya, whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. Parang, teka. Ang hirap i-connect lahat na, no? Parang,
Una, own life, renounce. Sunod, forsake all. Tapos salt. Tapos ngayon naman, he who has ears to hear, let him hear.
Ito na yung punchline, di ba?
Yes.
eto yung punchline. Bakit niya sinabing, whoever has ears to hear, let him hear? Na ginamit na rin niya.
Sa soils.
Soils.
Parable
yes.
of the soils.
Oo. So he used this previously. But in this context, tignan niyo mabuti sinasabi niya, may demand, may mga iiwang ka, dapat ang priority mo ako, walang makakahigit kay Jesus. Tapos biglang sinabi niya, whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. Alam niyo kung bakit? Tulad ng pagsunod natin kay Jesus, dapat din, kung talagang nakikinig tayo sa Kanya, we are willing to tune out other distractions. Because you cannot come to Jesus kung marami kang pinakikinggan, maraming distractions sa paligid mo, hindi mangyayari yan. Kung marami tayong distractions, marami nagko-compete na voices, we can never follow Him.
And partly, I think, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. Para siyang, listen to this message, huwag kayong magbibingi-bingihan.
Because this demands full attention. So listen.
Okay, wow. Okay.
Wow.
At doon niya tinapos yun.
Jesus is really asking yung audience na, do you know what you're getting into? Yeah.
Ang sa akin, yung sino ba talaga sinasamba mo kasi? Kasi I think we have this wrong understanding. Minsan, if I want to follow Jesus, kailangan magpakabait ako, kailangan hindi ko nasisigawan yung mga anak ko. Yung mga ganun tipo, o kaya hindi na ako manonood ng pornography, o kaya hindi na ako mandadaya sa oras ng trabaho ko, o kaya hindi ko na pagchichismisan si ganito ganyan. And I don't think it's not exactly wrong, yung mga moral resolutions, mga ganun, or you have this moral resolve to change, ganyan. It's more of a moral resolve, yun ang tingin natin, because you're a follower of Christ. Pero sa palagay ko, mababaw pa rin yun.
Parang behavioral management yung lumalabas pag ganyan eh.
That's absolutely correct. It's just behavioral management. Pero ang naririnig kong sinasabi ni Jesus dito, yung totoong repentance means hating the things I formerly loved and served. And I'm turning away from them because now I'm turning to love the true God, whom I formerly hated and I did not want to serve. So ngayon, walang mangyayari dun sa puro behavioral management. Hanggat hindi mo binabago kung sino talaga yung totoong sinasamba mo. Dun kasi magsisimula yun.
Related to that, just talking about marriage, kasi when I said yes to my wife, I practically said no to everybody else.
Yun.
Yes.
Okay.
That means there are things that I will do and will not do because of my relationship with my wife, because of my commitment, and kasi mahal ko misis ko eh. Diba? It's like, my yes to God means no to everybody else. This is my primary loyalty. This is my primary love.
And just going back to behavioral management or behavioral modification, a change in behavior is good, pero temporary ang effect nun eh. Because there must be a change in worship.
Right.
Yung katulad ng sinasabi mong absolute loyalty. Kasi nga we have so many objects that we worship na dapat si God lang yun.
Yung behavioral change, psychology can give you that. And it doesn't demand you to die to yourself and carry your cross. What it demands you to is to take some pills and roll on with your life. No? Iba yung sinasabi dito ni Kristo. Tapos kung i-anchor natin siya dun sa lesson natin nung last time, hindi tayo pumupunta dun sa banquet for the banquet. Kaya natin siya pinuntahan dahil sino yung nag-invite. Kung di natin kilala kung sino yung nag-invite, bakit ka magtitiwala dun sa banquet, di ba?
Yes. At yung pagkinilala mo siya, ibig sabihin nun, willing ka na ibigay ang lahat sa kanya.
Self-denial, yeah.
Yeah. Kaya gusto ko rin tong sinabi ni Jim Elliot. If you remember, Jim Elliot was a missionary. Namatay siya dun sa mission field. He was killed by this native. Ano ba yun?
Ito ba yung sa Sentinel Island?
Yeah. Auca. The Auca Indians ng Ecuador. Namatay siya doon dun sa pagpunta niya doon sa kanilang ministry na yan. But I really like what he said here. He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose.
Yung ganong quote ni Elliot, that makes me think, kasi if Christianity was about comfort, why did he accept the invite of Jesus to a place that he would not just be uncomfortable, but die?
That's true.
I think it's really looking to something farther than this life eh. Kasi diba yung sa Great Banquet nga eh, diba? It's an invite to something eternal beyond this. So if you give away your life, there's something more to that. And that's what they keep their eyes on.
Yeah, it's an invitation to leave things behind for the sake of Jesus, for the sake of his glory.
So, that was the parable of counting the cost. So Luke 14:25 to 33. And to our listeners, I guess when we invite you to follow Jesus, and we do usually, when we talk sa podcast, ayaw namin kayo mislead. Ayaw namin na parang Christian budol-budol yung kalabasan dito na pag sinandam mo si Jesus, lahat okay na, lahat masarap, best life now. Tapos makapasubo lang kayo. Jesus was pretty clear in this parable what the demands are. What does responding to the invite actually mean? And so we also want to be clear and say that it's going to cost us one way or the other. All of us. And that could mean very different things. It could be money. It could be career. It could be our relationships. It could be gold medals. It could be our dreams, ambitions. It could be our reputations. It could be our bodies and our life. It could cost us our life. Dito sa Pinas, we don't really feel that danger as much, but it is a reality in many, many parts of the world.
Right.
Mahirap siya isipin, di ba? Parang, ganito pala siya. And related to yung story ni Rainier about Jim Elliot, I'm reminded of this verse. 2 Corinthians 4:17 to 18. For this light, momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. As we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things unseen are eternal. The only way for us to be able to finish well and not fall somewhere in the middle, mawala ng budget, di makatapos ng binubuo, is if we keep our eyes on the eternal. If we keep our eyes on Jesus. That's the only way that we'll be able to finish well. See you on the next episode.
See you!
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
You have listened to the UCM Interface Bible Study here at 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV, Agapay ng Sambayanan. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV, and Facebook account, 702 DZAS FEBC Radio. Hear our full episodes on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, at marami pang iba. Join us at Union Church of Manila, Rada, Corno Legazpi, Makati City.